How do you feel about numbers? I'm going to give you some numbers from Max Concert Photography that might just blow your mind. These numbers cover the last 2 years of our production of what we've covered and what we've photographed. So stay tuned, and I'm going to go over them with you just so you know. I understand that some markets are smaller than others. Good grief. The knitting factory in Boise, Idaho just blows my mind that they can do so well in Boise, Idaho. But here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, over the last 2 years, well, let me give you a little background. In this year, our year runs typically from about March till about November. And this year it's going to run a little longer because we've got a memorial event to shoot at Poor David's Pub come up December 1st, and that's going to be a big deal because the amount of people that are going to be in there is going to be monstrous. This club is going to be packed, and should be a great event for a good cause. And it's sad, but it is what it is. In the last 2 years, we photographed 50 artists and bands in places that were open to the public and had this amount, zero amount of cost to the general public. You go to the show, it's in a park, it's in a library, it's in an alley, it's in various places, but you could go to these shows for free and not be charged. And I mean, we're talking some big names, at least in the Dallas Fort Worth, in Texas Red Dirt, Americana, country music. That's the blues. That's the majority of it. But 50 different artists and bands that we photographed over those 2 years. And then on top of that, we filmed another 75 artists in places that you had to pay to get in. Now, granted, we only paid to get in probably two places. One of those was Billy Bob's, and the other was Tannehill's. But that Aaron Watson and then Jason Boland, that's the only two. But on all 125 artists and bands that we photographed, every one we photographed, we had written documentation saying we were there to photograph them. All of them, all 125. And that's a plus. So on top of that, we were at 23 venues in the last 2 years. 23 different venues across the Dallas Fort Worth area. Of that 23 venues, only two were actual considered bars. And that would be Poor David's Pub and Mama Tried. And Mama Tried had food, but they brought it in through like Grubhub or something like that. And then, but that's the only two. One was a wine bar, and the rest of them were restaurants that also had sold alcoholic beverages and things like that along the way. The Rustic was one of those. Tannehill's was another. Billy Bob's, and I had one more. Tannehill's, Billy Bob's, and the Lava Cantina. So out of those four, those were all good restaurants that also had bars. Out of those 125 different artists and events that we shot, only one was a pure cover band. That was it, and that was Pooh Live Crew. And Pooh Live Crew is a bunch of guys that dress up in Adidas tracksuits, usually yellow, bright optic yellow and green, and they sing Shania Twain covers. Funny as hell. If you haven't seen them, they're worth the shot to take a look at. In an area like Dallas Fort Worth that has, I would say, my last count was 45 different cover bands. And tribute bands. We only shot one in 2 years out of that whole entire 125 artists, and that was it. Now, out of our, we had let's see, we had roughly 7 people that we asked for photographs and media credentials. Out of that 7, 2 or 3 of them we'd already shot previously, and we were not declined by any of them, but we were actually just not acknowledged by them, which was kind of weird. All this happened probably in September. But Aaron Watson and Carson Jeffrey we'd already shot in the past, so they just never got back to us. There was I think five artists at the Louisville Western Days, just didn't get back to us, and then Aaron Watson, like I said, didn't get back to us for his show at the Levitt Pavilion. So that's the amount of people that didn't respond to us on top of that 125. We did have one artist that we refused, and that was due to a contract, and that was Burton Cummings. So that was the only one that we had refused during the year, and I'm sure we probably could have worked something out, but time was short, and that just didn't come about. So that's a breakdown of our last 2 years. So if you figure you're shooting, well, let's take the 50 artists and bands, that individual shows, that's 25 a year. So there's 52 weeks a year, so that's half the year right there. And then you figure you got 75 on the other, and some of those are like the Kirby Kelly cancer benefit. There were probably 30 guys there, ladies and guys, and the same thing for doing the Dallas International Guitar Festival. There's probably 30 more in there. I would say probably 75 to 80. So we did have one artist that we did a studio shot in his home, and that will be coming up in the magazine probably, if not by December, maybe the first of the year or so, and that's a plus. We did one of the things I'll tell you. I saw somebody mentioning that they did not, they want to know how long you kept your raw files, and I got a call. I want to say about a month and a half ago, wanted to know if I had a photograph of Andy Wood, and the answer was yes. And they said, we want to use it for the cover of Buddy Magazine, and I said, fantastic. And so on this month's cover, which is this, there's our picture of Andy Wood on the cover, and we're very happy and very proud. That's a bucket list thing, and coming up pretty soon, you'll see another cover with Tim Sanders on that cover, and we're very happy. So those are our numbers. Hopefully your numbers are as good and as well as what we've done. We've been very, very fortunate, and we're happy and ecstatic. In an area like Dallas, there's so much to do, and there's so many places to go. We've just touched the tip of the iceberg in some ways, and we're blessed with it. So have yourself a great week, enjoy yourself, and we're going to be working some more. See you later. Bye. Well, things happen. I just sat on a picture frame. Yay! At least I didn't cut my backside, so that's good. Anyway, that's my blooper for this week.